a heads-up play. First, you see some speed from Amy Craig, but you're absolutely right, Ken. She saw Debbie Rice coming up. She is fully aware of the speed of Debbie Rice, called off the jam before Debbie Rice could match her points. Great job, Amy Craig.
You saw a picture of Debbie Rice holding that wrist that was broken in 3 places. A lot of doctors advised her she was coming back too soon. The last thing the Florida Sundogs need before the Founders Cup is for Debbie Rice to re-injure that wrist. Now it's Heather Sunderman and Lindsey Francis. They both go down, and Gina Lombardo takes to the inside of the track and now closes in wide open on the pack. Gina Lombardo, unbelievable. She is a North American cream corn wrestling champion. So that tells you if the Quake women want to get physical, Lombardo could stay with them.
And also, she's got a lot of fight in her, I'll tell you. This is a rough, tough little gal.
And a great job by the Florida Sundog blockers of leaving California Quakes in their wake. No question about it, buddy. She does have a lot of fight. You see her cut off the jam. She turned around, saw Heather Sunderman coming up from behind, but put 3 points on the scoreboard for Gina Lombardo.
Well, and one thing these Florida Sundogs have been able to do, Ken, is when they were so short-handed earlier in the season with Debbie Rice being hurt, a lot of other injuries, they were able to materialize as a very versatile team with a lot of weapons that had both speed, blocking ability, and the ability to do both. That is something you don't see all the time here in the World Skating League.
It's been a real seesaw battle so far, and again, Amy Craig, the first jammer to break out for the California Quakes. Remember, it's the jammers that wear the black helmets with the red stripes. They are the only ones that can score in the WSL once they have lapped the pack. And you see the speed of Amy Craig, how quickly she catches up to the pack I was speaking of. Now dropping back. This is Denise Loden. Loden trying to spin her on move. Craig went right by her. Denise Loden very frustrated. Amy Craig picking up 1 point, tying the game once again.
Well, and we're seeing some uncharacteristic frustration on the part of Denise Loden, Ken. Usually she's so cool-headed, so even-handed. You saw Stacy Bliss get under her skin a couple of jams ago. Amy Craig of the California Quakes got under her skin on that jam. She seems a little bit flustered here today.
And now once again back, and this is Debbie Rice out for the Florida Sundogs. Certainly a very good sign, welcome sign for Sundog fans. Earlier we saw Rice skate off the track holding that wrist, grimacing in obvious pain, but whatever it is seemed to be not serious. And now here's Denise Loden coming up along with Amy Craig and Stacy Blitch. Keep your eye on Loden and Blitch. Remember, they have already gone at it hammer and toe so far, but right now Debbie Rice turns around, sees it's Denise Loden behind her that for the moment she has nothing to worry about. So Rice focusing in on the pack, and Denise Loden doing a great job of staying centered in the track, keeping the Quakes from going by. You see the reverse whip from Loden, springs Rice, and a double tomahawk takes down both the California Quake jammers as Debbie Rice weaves her way in and out of the pack. And now finally we run out of time, but not before Debbie Rice picks up 2 more points to put the Sundogs back in the lead 8-6. Is Debbie Rice wrist okay? That's 5 points for the period.
Well, it's a seesaw battle between teams, and if that's a seesaw, these guys are becoming boxers as they go at it again, Ken.
No love lost between these two. Now let's go to our referee, Sean Corbin, and roller rules of the WSL.
I'm Sean Corbin, head official of the WSL. If you think it's easy being in my skates, think again. Brian Gallagher and Eric Slope were out on a jam in this game between the Rustlers and the Quakes. When they got to the pack collapsed, and they had to go edge them. How many points would you give him? When Gallagher jumps the pack, he lands on the track, but Slopey lands on the infield. It's illegal for a jammer to pass on the infield. That means Gallagher gets 4 points, and Slopey gets a donut. Now you know the rule.
I would suggest Denise Loden might be wondering where is her fiance in all this. We'll be back. It's the Florida Sundogs 8, the California Quakes 6. Very tightly contested first period. Certainly the story, Debbie Rice scoring 5 of the Sundogs' 8 points. A lot of people wondering what kind of condition Debbie Rice and her wrist would be in for the upcoming Founders Cup tournament, she answered all the doubters.
Well, before the game, everybody here in the World Skating League, the media, us included, were talking about the relationship and how Rusty Montgomery might be in a fight with Sean Atkinson. But we saw the Debbie Rice show. First, we saw Denise Loden clean a little house, scores a couple of points there. Then we see her a little bit later score a couple of points on another jam. You're right, Ken. The finesse of Debbie Rice played a huge part for these Florida Sundogs in the first period.
I don't think there's any question. As you mentioned, Denise Loden played very, very physical. She's standing by with our Broadway Danny Wolf. Danny?
Denise, you seem livid at Sean out there. Is that because he didn't come to your aid?
Yeah, and Danny, we're going to have a long talk after the game.
You talking about you and Sean?
Yeah, I'm talking about me and Sean.
Thanks, Denise.
Sean, you may want to think about sending your fiancé some flowers before you get together. And starting for the Quakes, blocking will be Sean Atkinson, Rusty Montgomery, and Chad Vaughn. The Jammers, Santiago and Eric Slopey for the Florida Sundogs. The Jammers, Posse Celine and Jonathan Russell. And blocking David Gleddy, Sean Marshall, and Bill Barker. As we come up to the starting line. And right off the bat, it is the young studs for the California Quakes. Anthony Santiago and Eric Slopey breaking out very quickly. Posse Celine comes up front. You see number 19, the Finnish hockey star, very, very physical and a quick, deceptively fast skater. But now it's Russell for the Sundogs and number 12 for the California Quakes as they come around. Anthony Santiago. Again, Russell and Santiago. Posse Celine went for a butt block and missed, and now it's Santiago and Slopey all alone. A great opportunity for the California Quakes to regain the lead. Now, I don't know what Slopey was doing there. I guess it was the low rider and the white pony, but perhaps these two Quakes should concentrate on the pack, which they now do. David Gleddy, number 20, back first off the block out for the Florida Sundogs. Very tough duty when you've got one blocker trying to deal with two jammers. Gleddy really needs some help from his teammates and is not getting it. Now Sean Atkinson drops him in very quickly. Santiago and Slopey wide through the pack. It's 3 points for number 12, Santiago, and 2 for Slopey, a total of 5 points for the Quakes.
Well, and these two really work well together, Ken, do Santiago and Slopey of the California Quakes. And, of course, they're never to be outdone in the gregarious category with the low rider and the white pony. These two guys may come to play. They may have the talent, but if there's anything in doubt, they sure do have the flair, do Santiago and Slopey of the California Quakes.
And right now the Quakes lead this one by a score of 11-8. Buddy, it seems to me both teams seem to be a little bit off their game. Perhaps both are looking forward and looking towards the Founders Cup.
Well, I'll tell you what, that looks like to me. It looks like we've got a rough row here, and it's going to keep going back and forth, back and forth. There, another hard block. It's straight off. You remember the last jam? Who went down? Posse.
Posse Celine certainly leveled Mark James. Now here's Sean Atkinson back to deal with the Finnish star.